Gasoline is proudly brought to you by the following sponsors.
So we're up to stage one of making a full system to show you guys how we do it from start to finish. Step number one, we're going to do the headers first, then we'll take you onto the catalytic converters at step two. Step three is the centre section, step four is the rear of the exhaust, and then we paint it, and then we'll go to the next stage. So at the moment behind me you'll see all the pipes in the racks. These are off all different makes and models. Sometimes we'll fill 2 or 3 racks up with the one model, depending on how many runs we do. We do runs up to 300 or 400 headers at a time of one actual part number. So yeah, we fill these racks up, and we roughly weld about 15 sets of headers a day on average, one welder. So yeah, so we'll grab our pipes, we'll lock them in the jig, and we'll start showing you how we do it. Okay, so this is our jigs as you see here. They're built like an actual armoured tank. They will not bend, move, bow, buckle or anything. Like some people ring us and say, oh, I think your jig's a bit out. If you actually see how we manufacture them and weld them, they'll realise that to look further into their car. So we've got the header plate here. Actually going to bolt this into the jig and then load up all our pipes. Make sure it all lines up 100%. We actually screw it down how it screws down onto the cylinder head of the car, just to stop any distortion or bending of the flange plate. So we're about to load the, got the header plate bolted on secure, load up all our primary pipes now. They're all sort of made to sit in each position of the jig. As you can see here, we have stoppers here to adjust the height, top and bottom, and okay, we've roughly got it sitting in position now. Now these are a LS1 HQ header. We run a slip-on merge collector, so the 4 pipes all come up here 100%. It's a lot harder to do this way than conventionally welding a collector on, but the merge collectors really work well. So we've got our collector here. Line this up with our 4 pipes. This is the tricky part. Once we get this into position, then we'll start tacking. Okay, so we'll just leave that there loose at the moment. Make sure our header's still down, all in position. The critical part. What we have here on like a HQ with the LS1s, pretty common conversion, steering runs through here. So what we do here, any close spots that are on that car, we actually pin them when it comes time to manufacture it. So we've got all our pipes down, collectors on, we're ready to start tacking it up. So we're just going to make sure the pipes are down sitting in that header plate 100%. And we'll just put a couple of tacks on it. Okay, we've got that sitting in position. What we're going to do now is make sure our collector's on long enough. So, that there is as far as it goes on. So, we'll give it a tack. Make sure none of our pipes move. Okay, now what we're going to do is weld the header plates up, and then we'll get onto the back half of the collector. So we're going to, we've tacked all our pipes up now, we're getting ready to weld them up. We'll give a little bit of a talk about 4-into-1 headers over tri-wise, tune length headers over non-tuned 4-into-1s. These are an 1 7/8 4-into-1, LS1 in a HQ. The reason we went 1 7/8 is most guys putting the LS1s in a HQ tend to do a cam, an air intake. They really hot rod the old car with the new motor. So an 1 7/8 is a really good all-rounder for those guys. The VE Commodore, for example, we do an 1 3/4 4-into-1 as well as an 1 7/8. So the guys who are just going to do a bit of a tune and an air intake, we definitely recommend to run the smaller 1 3/4 header. The guys who are going to go crazy on them, forced induction, camshafts, go for the bigger header, bigger system, and away you go. 4-into-1s, don't waste your time with tri-wise on electronic fuel injection motors. They will never work, there's no scavenging effect. The reason these work so good is because as one pipe fires, the gases shoot past this collector flat out. And what that does, it draws the gas, it actually draws a suction from the other pipe. So as soon as that cylinder fires, this cylinder here has got a suction already sitting on top of that exhaust valve. So as soon as that valve opens, the header's already working, and that's why the 4-into-1s really work well with electronic fuel injection cars. So a lot of people get confused and they buy tri-wise for them, and honestly, the crappy HSV header would probably out-dyno any tri-wire header on the market. So yeah, you've got to be careful not to get caught. One thing people struggle to do when they weld headers is one full weld without stopping when you do a primary pipe like we just done there. It's a little bit tricky, a little bit hard, and you got to walk around as you weld and move at the same time and keep your hand dead perfect. So it's a bit of an art form. I mean, you know, we do it every day, so we get half good at it. Okay, I've welded up 3 primary pipes. As you can see, this primary pipe's still sitting here quite loose, and you're probably wondering why. What we have to do now, because we run a slip-on merge collector, which is what we've got here, with the 4 pipes in there, you can only run around the outside of the collector, which obviously your pipes are slipping inside here until they bottom out, but it always leaves room for a bit of leakage on the 4 corners on the inside that you can't weld. What we've discovered here is we pull the primary pipe out, the one we can get to in and out last on the jig. We weld these 3 up all the way around, and then we slide this pipe in last, and what we do is we feed silicon inside of it first, and then we weld that half. So we've only got virtually, well, what would you say, 1/4 of a collector not welded on one primary pipe only, and the silicon itself will actually self-seal it. So that's how we get around using slip-on merge collectors. Our opposition sort of wonder how we're doing it, so now they know. Okay, so we've finished welding our header up, primary pipes in, slip-on merge collectors in. With these ones, we've just got a conventional 3-inch straight pipe on the back of the merge collector. They really work well, they're good for the street. But one of the newest products that we're going to have coming out shortly, we're just doing all the research and development on, is a coned up collector. What it does, it picks up the airspeed fantastic all the way up to the collector and then shoots it back out under pressure into the system. A lot of touring cars are running these at the moment. NASCAR is very popular. And when it's fully done, you'll end up with virtually something very similar to that aspect on the back of the car. So we're hoping to bring this out on the VEs pretty soon, and that'll put us another quarter mile ahead of the opposition, I dare say even more. So we're just letting it cool down now. Once it's finished, rip it out of the jig, take it down to the paint shop, and we'll go paint all our 4 stages of manufacturing the exhaust. So we're on our way down to the spray shop to see where we finish off all our products and how they're presented and everything like that. Just another thing we'd like to show you, a new product that we released is LS1's getting very popular, put into HQ Holdens. It's a massive industry at the moment. It's modern technology, engine, running gear and everything in an old school hot rod, so they're a really good combination. These are the headers we actually manufacture for them. Most guys tend to work their motors, so they'll do a tune and air intake and stuff like that. So these are an 1 7/8 long primary header, proper slip-on merge collector on the back of them with a 3-inch outlet, so they're very popular. So what Daniel's just doing behind us, he's heated the header up now, he's applying the paint. The paint we use is roughly about $18 a litre. It's what they paint all the wood ovens and all that with. So the hotter you get it on the car, the darker it goes and the better it sticks. So it's fantastic paint.
Newlon Long Life Concentrated Coolant. Doesn't get hot, gets even. Newlon Coolant, the lifeblood of high performance. Demand the best. Demand Newlon. If you can find a high-performance synthetic engine oil that delivers less friction, buy it. Newlon Oils, the lifeblood of high performance. Demand the best. Demand Newlon.
Peninsula Steel, steel sales, fabrication and hardware. Direct to the public, builders and industry. Speedy service on all your steel needs, including arch bars, concrete mesh and structural steel. So if you want steel, you want Peninsula Steel. 66 Brunel Road, Seaford, 9776 80.